Memphis Grizzlies have traded Ja Morant to the Portland Trail Blazers for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. That is according to ESPN. So Ja splashed onto the NBA scene with the Grizzlies in the 2020 season, winning Rookie of the Year and later making 2 All-Star teams. His career stalled out due to a series of injuries and off-the-court controversies, including a 25-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the league in 2023. He joins a Portland roster that already has point guard Scoot Henderson and Damian Lillard on that roster. And again, you're getting a look at those reported trade details. The Trailblazers getting Ja Morant in this trade with the Grizzlies. Let's welcome in our NBA analyst Sam Quinn here to break down this big news. The Grizzlies finally been talking about this for such a long time. Is the Ja Morant era with Memphis going to be done? He has moved on, now a member of the Trailblazers. And Sam, you were saying not what you expected. You thought Portland maybe like a bottom 10 team to make this move. Why is it so shocking to you, and why is it hard to wrap your head around this trade?
Well, first things first, the Blazers already have several point guards, right? Damian Lillard expected to come back from his torn Achilles next season. They drafted Scoot Henderson, number 3 overall. I thought he showed a lot of promise in his late season return last season. Deni Avdija just made an all-star team effectively playing point guard. When Portland's guards were hurt for most of the year, he was the primary ball handler. There are a lot of guards on this team. We haven't even covered Drew Holiday yet. I'm not sure what they envision as the fit here. Is there a follow-up trade coming? I am very confused at this. Now, they didn't give up much, and I think the logic here essentially is that they are taking a buy low opportunity on somebody with all NBA talent. Ja Morant obviously was a superstar at his peak, has not played at that level consistently for several years. There were some promising signs towards the end of his Memphis tenure, a couple of very, very nice games before his season ended. But on paper, I am really confused about what sort of basketball team they're actually trying to put out on the court. Ja Morant is a complete non-shooter from deep. The Blazers were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA last season. Ja Morant doesn't really play defense. That's kind of the culture they're trying to build in Portland. Obviously, last season the defense took a step back, but the year before, they were an incredible defense after the trade deadline. I am very confused. I think this is just a talent play more than anything. Maybe there's some follow-up move that we're not seeing yet, but on paper, this is a very confusing trade.
So I know obviously you broke it down. There's a lot of guards that are on that team there. Scoot Henderson, talking about Dame. Do you think that Ja is going to have to fit with Dame or Scoot Henderson, or do you ultimately think there are going to be more moves that are coming and they're just kind of accumulating some assets here?
Yeah, I have to imagine there's some sort of follow-up trade coming. Now, Portland has been heavily linked to Jaylen Brown from Boston. Now, maybe Drew Holiday would be the matching salary in that sort of deal. We assumed that Jeremy Grant would be. Jeremy Grant obviously is now headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. But even still, Damian Lillard has a no-trade clause. You're not going to trade him. Maybe Scoot Henderson is going out in another trade. He is eligible for a rookie extension this offseason. He's a very tricky extension candidate, having missed most of last season due to injury, and Portland obviously already having all of those guards. Something to keep in the back of your mind, Deni Avdija, they're going to want to renegotiate and extend him next offseason. They're going to need cap space to do that. Maybe they're afraid that a Scoot Henderson extension would cut into the money that they would use to do that. We're going to have to see what the bigger picture here is, but there are so many guards, so many ball handlers on this team. I'm a little confused as to how this makes sense. There's probably a piece of the puzzle that hasn't made itself clear yet.
And Sam, you referenced it. Portland obviously rumored to be in the running for Jaylen Brown. So in your mind, does this make it more likely or less likely that that could ultimately come to fruition when you're thinking of, hey, if there is potentially another move that's coming or they're getting assets to do something else, where does that land in your mind as it pertains to Jaylen Brown?
Maybe slightly less likely, not overwhelmingly less likely. They, again, still do have that big Drew Holiday cap number to send out in a Jaylen Brown trade if they do need money for that. I assume Jeremy Grant was the likeliest big contract to go to Boston. Maybe the Celtics didn't want Jeremy Grant, and I wouldn't blame them for that because Jeremy Grant is no longer the player that he was at his peak. His shooting did bounce back last season, but he's never really been a great defender. He's declined on that front. Not much of a rebounder for his position. He's kind of just a scorer at this stage of his career. Drew Holiday, obviously a lot more balanced as a player. Boston had him when they won the championship in 2024. So maybe that's it. It is one less contract to work with, but I don't think that would be an impediment if Portland is motivated enough. I do look at this now, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like Portland just looked at Ja Morant as a former star talent and said, it is very hard to get that caliber of player to come to Portland. If we can get that guy basically for free with no draft capital attached, why not take the swing, see how it goes? Worst case, in a year he's an expiring contract, we can use that money some other way.
So the value that they did get for, like it's a 25-year-old, and you mentioned it, like former star and big name in the NBA. Do you think the upside for Ja is still elite and still, worth expecting? Or do you think maybe the window for Ja Morant, when you factor in injuries and the off-the-court issues, is really limiting him to what he can be down the road?
The way I've been describing Ja Morant is that I think there's maybe a 10 to 20% chance that he can still be a superstar. The thing that made him a superstar more than anything was his ability to get to the basket. He was so dangerous, driving downhill, so hard to stop. Those numbers have been trickling down for several years. They did start to tick back up towards the end of last season, his last 10 games or so, but he has not generally been the same level of rim finisher since the injury started to pile up that he was early in his career. If he can get back to being that level of scorer at the basket, maybe there is still a star in there somewhere. But if he can't, the problem with Ja Morant is that he basically has no role player skills. He is not a three-point shooter. He is small. He is not a defender whatsoever. If he is not an all-star caliber player at point guard, I'm not even sure he can be a starter. It's kind of all or nothing. He either has to be your primary ball handler, the guy that you're running your offense through, or he might have to be somebody who comes off of the bench, runs backup units, plays 15, 20 minutes a game. That's pretty extreme variance. I think it's likelier that he is not going to be a star again. When you're talking about somebody who's as athletic as he was at his peak to deal with the injuries that he's had, I am not especially optimistic, but there is a chance. It's maybe a 10 to 20% chance, but that chance does exist.
So, Sam, we want you to grade this trade from both sides, starting with Portland. What do you give it them?
I'm giving them a C just because they didn't really give anything up. I do have a lot of questions here. I want to see the whole picture. For now, what I'll say is it's a nice buy low opportunity for a small market franchise that doesn't very often have access to talents like this. It might get better, it might get worse. I want to see the whole picture. I'm ultimately okay with the swing here. I'll give them a C. Again, let's see what the whole offseason picture is. Maybe the grade gets better, maybe it gets worse.
And what about for the Memphis side of things? What are you giving them?
I'll give them a B-. I think they had to get him out of the building.